Hey kids, it's great to see you again, and today I'm going to walk you through how to replace an interior door in your home. So I'm going to take this one out and we're going to put in a new one, and I'm just going to walk you through that, what that looks like. But first we have a dad joke for you. So when is a door not a door? When it's ajar. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, when changing out a door, the easiest way to do it is to get a pre-hung door, and I'll show you what that looks like, because basically it's the frame and the door and everything. If we just wanted to try to change this door, it'd be pretty complicated, and the amount of time that you would put in trying to just swap out just the door compared to just replacing the frame and everything else. And you'll see this frame is an old frame and it's wood. We want it to be white, and so I'd have to paint all that too. So you'll see, it's just so much easier just to pull the whole thing off. All right, so the first thing we want to do is remove the trim, and so you want to use a knife so that it's not sticking to the paint. Okay, so we're just going to take that and run it right down there. Okay, so now we're just going to use a pry bar of some sort and try to get it underneath there. Be careful now, right? You don't want to damage your trim if you can. Okay, kind of work it a little bit. Okay, that popped free. You got to be careful on these seams too, because a lot of times guys will shoot a nail through there, and we are trying to save this if we can, right? So worst case scenario, we have to get new trim. That's not the end of the world, but looks like it's perfectly good to me, so we're going to try to keep it. I did want to be able to show you this, so I might turn the camera around so you can see what's going on here. There's this frame right here, see? And that's just framing the door. We're going to pull this whole thing out and just stick in the new frame, just like that. So if you want to remove a door without taking the hinges off, you can just pull the pins like that. See, so that's there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. What you do is just stick something underneath there and pop it out. And you can pull the pin. Now that door will just come off of there. Okay, this door will just come, we can just remove it. So now you can just see that we're gonna, this is just a frame here, and it's pounded in, probably pounded in here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you just want to make sure double and triple check this, right, that you get the right door. So this opening here, I measured the door beforehand, and the door itself is 28 inches, okay? With the frame, it's 29.5 inches, and the way this is 30 inches. And so they give you some wiggle room, right? Because you don't want to have it be so tight you can't get it in here. That would cause a lot of frustration. So they build in some wiggle room for you. So I do have the correct door. I double checked that, and it's already, they come primed usually. So I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of paint on it too. But before you put the coat of paint on it, make sure that you got the right door, right? Because then otherwise you're going to be out a door, and then you got to go get the right door, and you got one that's painted that you can't use. So anyway, so double and triple check that. I've got my pre-hung door. I've double checked everything to make sure it's the right door. When you do this, there's going to be nails, right? So you want to make sure all your nails are gone, because just one little nail stuck in here is going to be frustrating for you. You're going to be, why is this thing not fitting? And you're just bumping up against a silly little nail that's still sticking out just a half an inch, and it's, you know, these things are tight enough to where you don't have wiggle room to accommodate that. So you got to be able to make sure it's clear. So make sure you have no nails on either of these sides or sticking out the front. We just want to make sure it's clean. It is. I went ahead and already double checked all that. And so anyway, so we're getting ready. And then here's another thing. When you're picking out your door, you got to pick out the correct size. And then you also got to pick out the side that you want the knob to come out, right? These pre-hung doors come set for you. I knew I want this thing. See, my hinges are just like they were on the old ones. They're on this side, which means the door is going to swing out. Would have been a, you know, you get yourself into a bind you have it swinging in. I can't have that door swinging in, right? It's got to swing out. And so just be careful with that. Make sure you know where your knob is. Pop those off. Okay. All right, and
now we're going to pop those pins out of those hinges to remove the door.
My last door had 2 hinges. This one has 3. Okay. Okay, because that's just a plug that holds that together for shipping. Okay. This door is off of here now. Okay, so now I just got my frame. Go ahead and put it in there. So I got it in. I had to kind of, because I got tile at the bottom here, right? And so this thing wasn't quite going down inside, and so I just had to kind of remove a little bit of the tile, and then now it's sliding in. Now I got a different problem. On the inside, I've got some sheetrock that's hanging down, so I'm gonna have to trim that back, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a tool to do that, which will make that job way easier. So, all right, so you see this? This is what I'm hitting. I got the frame, and then there's just this little bit of sheetrock here. It won't let me get it all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. You could use a knife if you needed to. Since I have this tool, it's gonna make it that much easier. And I have things covered with this plastic, so even though it's gonna create a little bit of a mess, that's okay. So we should be good now. That's what was holding it up. There you go. Beautiful thing. All right, since I just made that mess, I went ahead and cleaned that up, right? If you don't, and we're in the middle of this, I'm gonna be tracking that, and I've gotta go get something. And I've got the sheetrock dust or the drywall dust on my feet, and I'm walking and, tracking it around. Clean it up first before you go any further. I understand that you probably wanna get the door installed, but it's best to do that first. So what we're gonna do here is I need to make sure this is level. And I'm gonna make sure this side is level, because this is the side where the hinges are. And that actually it's actually plumb is what you call it when it's this way, but everybody knows the term level. So we're using this particular side, and it looks pretty good. Not gonna be perfect, right? But so we can actually go ahead and put that one in. And I've got, so it depends on what you have, you might have, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use it with a hammer and nail, right? If you got that. You could probably put a screw in it. The screw head's gonna show a little bit more. And so I'm gonna use my air compressor and my nail gun, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot that in. I'm just gonna put, for now, I'm gonna put 2 nails, because I don't wanna make this permanent just yet, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead, and I wanna keep it flush here, right? Because this is where my trim's gonna go, okay? So it's important that it's flush on this front, or close to it, right? Again, doesn't have to be perfect. So I didn't need any shims to get that to come out right, but I will on the other side. Okay, and it's flush there. Put a nail in here. And then a nail in down here. Okay, for now, that's all we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a measurement, make sure my door will still fit. Let's just see what this looks like. Obviously on the top, that's, since it's got a bracket here, or it's got a top piece connecting this is gonna be fine, right? 28 inches, no problem. Thing is, on the bottom, it can get a little wider or it can get a little narrower. So you wanna make sure that you're good there too, okay? So it is, yeah, it looks great actually, right where it's at. So what I'm gonna do is I have these shims, okay? And you can just buy these. They come in a little pack like this. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put those in. I'm gonna check my level on this side too, or the plumb, right? Yeah, it's about the same as it is on the other side, okay? So now I can just put that in there. Okay, it's a little thick. So all you need to do is just use 2 of those. See, that's what a shim is, just like that. And then you can just put a couple in if you need to, and you can slide them back and forth like that to make them thicker, right? So we're gonna go ahead and put that in here. Let's see what it looks like, something like that. And then with that tool that I have, I can just buzz that right off, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and see what we look like. Okay, it's a little wide right there compared to what I want. It's 28, about 28 and a quarter, because the door is 28 and you gotta have some wiggle room for the hinges and everything. So 28 and a quarter. Right here, it's about 28 and 3/8. So I'm gonna go a little bit thicker. Okay. See what that good guy looks like, and then you can just bust these off too, unless it's a little thicker, then it makes it a little harder, right? You probably have to cut it. So I'm gonna do that and slide that guy. Ooh, right on the button. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a nail in here. Okay, I'm gonna put it right into that shim. Okay, we are looking golden here. Okay. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. I just put a shim down at the bottom, and now I'm going to do it one last one up here. See that? And then I can just kind of pull them and make them fill in the gap, right? So when you use a shim, you can just see that. So you start out kind of thin, and then you can just slide them together and see how that it's getting thicker and thicker all the way up to there, right? So that's what I've done there. Double check. I think it's always good to double, triple check. We're good. It's right up near the top, so this one's going to be the easiest one anyway. So we'll do that again. Okay. And again, I'm just going to put one nail. All right, so when you're tapping these in, you could, if you wanted to, just use a hammer. It's not a bad idea to use something to protect it so that you're not marking up the metal, right? Okay, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, I can put a few more nails in now because I know it's good. All right, so we just got to put the trim back. I'm just going to start on one end and work my way around. You want to have a little bit of a reveal here, meaning this is held back a little bit from this edge right here. You don't want to have it right next to it, just a little bit. Okay, and then the way you do trim is you just work your way around. Okay, beautiful. So I went ahead and installed the doorknob. I have a separate video for that if you need to know how to do it. It's fairly simple, but I walk you through all the steps, and I just didn't want to take the time in this video to show you how to do that. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.